Hello, this is the Maya Artifact episode number 3000, 3984 probably. Yeah, 83. I'm not really sure about the exact number. Today's date is April 10th, 2026. It's been almost like evening at 6:55 p.m. Okay, so you might gonna wondering why is kind of like a video artifact, but it's kind of like assembly. Like basically this is not what exactly happened. Okay, so this is my usual street. Okay, yeah, like this is a kind of like a stadium that I usually go there, but because of the maintenance work, it closed. So that's why I kind of like simply run on that street. Okay, it's kind of like very empty, like very less people are actually came here, and it was kind of like a really good. Okay, yeah, there is a lot of kind of like a trees are over here, which is kind of like a simply cover up the entire road, which kind of like a feel really good. Okay, okay, listen. So usually is this thing that key I don't really record artifact at this moment, and like at this moment means like I don't really do like I usually record artifact when I'm at home, when I'm kind of like simply just talking about something. Yeah, but I don't know, today is a kind of like a very kind of like a very, it's not really hectic day, but it's a kind of like things that na ki I don't really get like a time to record artifact. Okay, and from last couple of days, I'm kind of like last couple of weeks, I realized that ki like I should supposed to be record artifact. I cannot stop recording. It's a kind of like a thing that na if I didn't really record artifact na, it just kind of like a feel like that ki something is kind of like a somebody not doing right. Okay, so that's why I kind of like a record artifact. Sometime I record, sometime not every time, kind of like a record twice in a day. I just like a kind of like a eagering to record artifact. Okay, it's like kind of like a feel like a like a like feel like that ki aggression towards record, like a soon as I kind of like a hit record, I will gonna start talking and things. It's not really that ki I wanted to talk, like it's a kind of like a thing that I wanted to talk to, but okay, this is the place that we kind of like a play badminton. Okay, yeah, like Prashik and me usually play badminton over here. This is the kind of like a street light, and we do play here. It's a really beautiful place. Okay, yeah, like you could able to play badminton, and it's a very empty street. Okay, yeah, you might not see anything at all, very less traffic. Yeah, it's kind of like a feel really good over here. Okay, yeah. Okay, so what is at least this artifact about? Should I kind of like a talk about something? Well, probably is this thing I want to talk, but right now, like it's a video artifact episode, na, and I cannot do kind of like a fiddle on my mobile phone. Like basically, all my questions are in doc, like basically in the document. If I wanted to kind of like listen the question, or kind of like understand, or kind of like read the question, or want to know the question, I have to stop recording and kind of like yeah. So artifact will gonna interrupt. Okay, so probably assessing this artifact is not meant to be asked question at the moment or today's. Okay, I will gonna ask question in next artifact episode. Okay, I just want to kind of like somebody just think that yeah, I just want to talk, and that's why I'm just kind of like somebody here and things and that. By the way, is this thing na ki usually it just kind of like a very raw artifact episode, but there is a kind of like a one thing that I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, so this is kind of like a place I every day kind of like a run from last 1 year. Okay, yeah, because last 3 year I'm kind of like running on like a stadium is actually over there, like it's a kind of like a somebody is saying that there is something like it's, yeah, but from stadium is a kind of like a been maintenance for almost like a 1.5 year. So yeah, there is a one thing that I bother a lot. People put lot of trash in a kind of like a roadside. Lot of trash. Like I don't know, is this thing na ki like there is a kind of like a game. Okay, yeah, you don't know about the game. Okay, it's not a game, but open the Google Maps. Okay, yeah. And there is a kind of like a street view button. Okay, yeah. Um, hold that street view anywhere and drop that street view anywhere in India. Anywhere. Okay, yeah. In India, okay, you will kind of like a assembly went to the navigate to the roads in India. Okay, and suddenly you might gonna found that ki there is a kind of like a trash, and it will gonna take you almost like a maybe 2-3 seconds. You just kind of like assembly just swap, and suddenly you're gonna find a trash or any plastic bag or things and that. Like this is a kind of like assembly plastic bag. This is a kind of like a plastic bag. This is a kind of like a plastic bag. There is a lot of like it is over there. It is over there. It is over there too. There is over too. There is a too much kind of like a trash in kind of like in the roadside. And by the way, this road is a kind of like a bit more clean. By the way, means like that there is very less amount of traffic, nothing really at all. But still, it has lot of amount of trash. Why does okay yeah. Okay, today like basically this thing na, since I'm kind of like a recording artifact, and since I'm not asking question to myself, what if I could supposed to be asked this question, like why there is a kind of like so much trash in a kind of like some street roads in India? Well, first of all is that ki, the bigger important issue that why does kind of like Indian people or Indian streets are kind of like a look very messy is because of that ki lack of civilization. That is a kind of like a lack of civilization. In India, people are not civilized regarding about their trash, where they should supposed to be put and things and that. Why Indian people are not civilized? Why does Indian people are not kind of like a kind of like simply put the trash in where it should supposed to be? Why not? The reason is that ki there is no kind of like a rule book. There is no kind of like a something education. There is no like a no one tell us. No one tell us regarding about this and that. So this is my friend Prashik. He just came. Okay. By the way, if I'm recording artifact, and since he usually don't really run, so he also kind of like a walk. He also kind of like a talking to somebody and things and that. So if I'm kind of like a recording artifact at the moment, he was kind of like a say, oh, what are you doing and things and that. I don't wanted to kind of like interrupt that thing. So I wanted to end the artifact. Okay. I just want to kind of like simply just kind of like simply just give the visual reference. I don't know why I record the artifact at the moment, but just wanted to record, so I did record without any kind of like assembly, without any kind of like a things and that. So this isn't I should supposed to be end here. I will gonna ask the question again. Okay, I will gonna ask question next regarding about that key. Well, I can ask the question na. Like it's not really bother. He kind of like went in another way because he is kind of like talking to somebody. So yeah, I could able to talk. Okay, yeah. Let's talk. I don't know. Like I just wanted to talk about this thing. Like right now, I don't know why I'm kind of like suddenly just wanted to record artifact. I wanted to talk because since morning I am not really recording artifact because of that. I was kind of like too busy doing this kind of like a very like a work at home and stuff. So yeah. So question, yeah. So why does kind of like so much trash in India? Okay, yeah. The reason that I already told you, people are not really civilized. Okay, yeah. Why not people are civilized? Because they don't really get any kind of information regarding about what is actually being civilized, where should you supposed to put trash and things, and not just a trash, like how they should supposed to behave and things and that. Like basically this is not the personal development is not exist in India. Like no one kind of like tell us regarding about personal development. Like there's a lot of trash in here, so much amount of trash. Okay, so personal development is like almost not, like no one tell us regarding about what is actually personal development. Is there any kind of like things? Nothing really at all. Literally in my school there is a kind of like a period for personal development, and we consider them it's a recess time. And yeah, literally it was recess, yeah, like literally just like that na, ki we just kind of like a play cricket or football in the personal development. Even my class teacher, even the class teacher doesn't really know the, like he was kind of like a teaching the personal development. He was not really able to teach. He just kind of like a say, yeah, go play kind of like a whatever the game that you wanted to play, and just yeah. So basically this thing na, the kind of like a things regarding about the key this civilization or civilized people or the personal development is not even exist in India. So that's why there are so many problems, so many things. Okay, but this is not the only one problem for kind of like a having lot of trash in kind of like a simply streets. There is also another problem. Okay, like basically is this thing, and the problem is the problem that you think is not the kind of like a reason for just a people. Sometime system, governance, and like yeah, mostly governance too. Okay, let's talk about the governance. Okay, yeah. So people put the trash. Okay, yeah. Does anybody kind of like have a responsible for that? Like who will kind of like assembly that collecting those trash and kind of like a things? Who is actually responsible in India to collecting those trash? You might found no one. Yeah, literally no one. Why? Because there is no authority body are actually exist in national level so that they would responsible for trash. Okay, like basically this thing regarding about who do I supposed to be blame regarding about trash. There is no person at all, like literally no person at all. Yeah, like basically this is kind of like some problem is kind of like somebody differentiate by state government and national government. Okay, yeah, in the national government it's kind of like under the home ministry. Okay, probably I'm not really sure. अरे हां
आज रनिंग नाही
नाही करतो ना
आणि ते बॅडमिंटन
खेळतो याचा आहे मित्र हां he was a colleague. Oh boy, it's record in the artifact. Oh shit, whatever. So yeah, so what was I'm trying to tell you? I was trying to tell you is this thing that there is no responsible person are actually exist in India. Like, by the way, it is responsible person. Okay, I'm not gonna say it's not really responsible person. Like, let me tell you one thing. Who is a responsible person for railway in India? We have that particular person. Okay, yeah. I don't know that particular person, but we have that particular person who is responsible for government of India. Sorry, government of responsible for Indian Railway. Okay. Now regarding about trash, regarding about who is actually collecting the trash and things, there is no person at all. Okay. Like there is a kind of like like a differentiate body who kind of like a decide these state government, then national government and things and that. Okay, as also this is also kind of like a differentiate according to a district level too. Okay, yeah, because the power is a kind of like a shifted national to state to city to district to yeah. So possibly this thing there is no one is kind of like some people who are there. And even if there is a kind of like a basically this thing that na ki since from last couple of year there is a kind of like a lot of people who kind of like assembly came and kind of like a people who are kind of like assembly collecting trash and things and that. Okay, yeah. But after they collecting trash, when they put the trash in roadside. Literally, this is the roadside. So basically, this thing, even if we are collecting the trash from household, we are putting that trash into the roadside because there is no system for how should we supposed to be kind of like a collect the trash and put it into the system to so that we could utilize that trash to something good. There is none at all. So waste management system is not exist. It is exist in metro city like a Bombay. It is actually available. Pune is actually available. Delhi or metro city, in the big city there is a waste management system and they are kind of like a working really well, but still very less efficiency. And I'm talking about the metro city. I'm living in tier 3 city where is waste management system is just collecting garbage from like from the people from the house, and kind of like put it into the kind of like assembly on kind of like a roadside. And these are the kind of like a management system that we have. So that's why there are a lot of trash that we could see. This is the trash, this is the trash, so much amount of trash, so much. Yeah. So how do I solve that problem? Well, I have a solution for that, but still talking about right now is not a right time. Why? Because I think that my solution is not exactly right, because I'm not really prepared at the moment. Okay. Not the like prepare at the moment means what? Like give the opinion. Now what is actually the solution? Like you should supposed to civilize the people and things and that and that. Yeah, but dude, like a problem is not just kind of like a people. Even if I make a civilize and things and that, governance and there is a lot of things are actually kind of like a things. Okay. So I have a solution. Like basically this thing, like basically if I kind of like make a app where kind of like somebody, everybody are kind of like enroll as a kind of like a something is this thing to collecting garbage and things and that. Like basically this thing, what is that this thing? Okay. So my app is about a kind of like assembly that key, let's just say you are a particular person, you are the citizen of India, and you install my app. Okay. Let's just say cleaner app. Okay, yeah. Name of the app. So government cleaner app, government trash cleaner app. Okay. So you install this app. Now what is actually this thing? That key in roadside you are kind of like a walking and suddenly you found a trash somewhere. Okay, yeah. So what did you do? You just open the app and kind of like there is a kind of like a button, create the ticket. Okay, yeah. You create the ticket and there is a camera open and you pointed camera towards the trash and click that camera. Means you took a photo of that trash and upload that photo onto the server. Okay, which create a ticket. Okay, yeah. That key, this is the trash is available on this location, and basically try to clean that thing. So everyone get one ticket per day. Okay, yeah. If you wanted to buy multiple tickets, like get multiple tickets, then you have to pay subscription, things and that. Okay, yeah. So when this ticket is actually generated on the cloud, now basically is this thing that key people will kind of like assembly collecting those garbage, or kind of like assembly making that garbage, like collecting those garbage. But how? Who will gonna collect those garbage? Well, basically is this thing that garbage is actually collected by the, not just kind of like assembly the garbage collector, no, everyone. What do you mean by that? So basically is this thing that key, you are a kind of like a particular person that you want a kind of like a somebody just want to earn money or things and that. So you should supposed to be enrolled. You have to kind of like a same app. Okay, you have to kind of like enroll as a kind of like a somebody as a warrior or things and that. Okay, because you are kind of like a somebody like a saving the world, saving this planet, because of kind of like collecting the garbage and things and that. So you are considered as a warrior. So you are kind of like somebody enroll as your warrior. Okay, yeah. You put your name and things and that. Okay. So what is actually happened? That key, when someone kind of like put the ticket, that key, this is the garbage is actually available over here. Okay, that ticket kind of like somebody sent towards the cloud. Okay, yeah. Now what is actually happened? That key, if you are in that surrounding area which is kind of like closest to that particular trash, so and you are kind of like enroll as a kind of like a warrior, you will get the notification that this is a kind of like a garbage is actually available. Okay, yeah. So you have to collect the garbage. In return, you will get credits. Okay, regarding about some sort of amount of money and things and that. Literally, yeah, some amount of money that you get. Okay, yeah. Now how is actually happen? Like basically this thing, let's just say you are a kind of like a somebody college going student. Okay, yeah. Now suddenly kind of like somebody is this thing that key notification pop up that you have to collect the garbage. So what should you supposed to do? Should you drop the school and kind of like go to the collect the garbage or what? No, it's not. It's a kind of like a thing that when you are actually available, like let's just say you have literally time, then you kind of like somebody activate as a warrior. When you activate as a warrior, then probably you will kind of like go and kind of like things that thing. Okay, another thing. Okay, obviously you need a kind of like a lot of things, not just kind of like somebody, you will not gonna collect the garbage by mid-air or kind of like a things. You need a lot of equipment, like you need a kind of like a some tools to collect the garbage and things and that. How should you supposed to get that tool and things, right? So basically what exactly happened, okay, so let's just say you are a kind of like a enroll as a warrior, okay, yeah, and this is the ticket is in front of you, there is a garbage is kind of like a close by, okay, yeah. So basically you kind of like a said that okay, I will collect that garbage, you kind of like a press yes, okay, you press yes, that means this is your responsibility to collect that garbage, okay. So what should you supposed to do, you go to that location, okay, yeah, probably this thing you might get a kind of like assembly, a kind of like a gloves or kind of like a things that those are kind of like a basic tool that you already have when you kind of like assembly already established as a kind of like a warrior, you will already get that thing, a simple toolkit, a mask, a kind of like a gloves or things and that you went that location, okay, yeah, and when you went that location you kind of like assembly collect all those garbage and put that garbage into the kind of like a plastic bag, wrap up that plastic bag, okay, and after you wrap the plastic bag there is a kind of like a barcode, you put the kind of like assembly is this thing in that plastic bag, there is already kind of like assembly barcode in it, okay. So you just have to register that plastic bag, there is a kind of like garbage already collected by you. So you collect that kind of like assembly garbage bag and things, you kind of like put that thing, okay, this is a kind of like assembly trash that I collected and this trash is actually available on this location, okay, yeah, and you put this kind of like a things that now by QR code and things and that key you already complete that thing, that's your part is actually done, okay, yeah, that's it, okay. Now then you have to go there, then after that हे इथून जा तो इकडून इकडे पलटा, हां ते ग्रीनवाला लाईट दिसतो ना, त्याच्याकडून इकडे डावीकडे. Okay, so basically this is thing that key people will some like basically I am considered as a warrior, so I went there, I found the trash, okay, yeah, I collect the trash, kind of like put it into the bag, okay, wrap up that bag, okay, yeah, kind of like I said I did this thing, this bag is actually available, took a photo of the kind of like a things and that your part is done, okay, yeah, now you have to go. Now then after that collector will gonna come, like garbage collector van, they already get the information regarding about that ki where is a trash bag, okay, yeah. So basically those people will kind of like and they also get the notification regarding about the surrounding that ki if they are kind of like close by, they will kind of like come to you, and come to you means come to that trash bag, they will collect the trash bag, put it into the van, yeah. So this is the way that you could supposed to be kind of like assembly solve this, but not fully, there are so many problems will gonna come, okay. This is just an idea that I have, but there is so many things are actually matter too, okay, because even if I collect those garbage I need a waste management system, okay, means I have to kind of like build a plant on every city, okay. And I'm actually thinking from kind of like a private point of perspective, like basically this thing that key like basically I am a private entity and I am kind of like my business is kind of like collecting the garbage and things and that, and how am I kind of like earning money by sending tickets, okay, yeah, by tickets, like basically this thing, the people who are kind of like somebody seen any kind of like a garbage, they just have to kind of like somebody generate that ticket by taking photo and that's it, okay, yeah, one ticket for a free. If you want more, then you will kind of like a better subscription or maybe kind of like a buy more tickets than that. And how you kind of like provide money to the people who are kind of like collecting the garbage, obviously is this saying that I will kind of like pay him something, but there is a lot of things that actually need to discuss, because what if that particular person cannot able to be collect the garbage, or maybe he did not collect the garbage, he just kind of like went there and he put kind of like somebody doesn't really trash, he like there is a lot of stuff, okay, yeah. Like he might need a kind of like a bigger tool, he found kind of like so much trash that he might not do this thing, so there are so many stuff I have to figure it out things, but this is the kind of like a simple idea. But I think that this idea might not work just because of kind of like a private entity, because private entity cannot able to be do this thing by themselves, because private entity really required a kind of like a profit business, okay, yeah. So how does they kind of like doing this profit business as an NGO, they might like basically they just, I don't know, it probably is this thing now, as a private entity might not get profit that much, so probably, or maybe I don't know, kind of like a find another revenue sources. Okay, yeah, because in the end now I'm not earning that much amount of money, even if kind of like a some ticket prices or kind of like a things and that, still it does not gonna work. Okay, why? Because my profit margin is kind of like a very less, so private entity is not kind of like a really, like, yeah. So in this particular project, as a government should supposed to be execute by this way. Okay, yeah, means like that ki as a government, and as also government has a kind of like a responsible particular person who is kind of like responsible for only for trash in rest of the India, who will control the kind of like a trash in kind of like a national level, state level, and everything. So yeah, and if that particular person could do this thing, this is the way that we could supposed to be solved. Okay, and by civilization in education point of perspective, if we are implement this civilization or personal development in the education textbooks or implementation in the education, then this might gonna problem will gonna solve, but it takes so much amount of time, probably takes a decade of kind of like a solving. So this is just an idea. Okay, I don't know, just kind of like a random idea it came, and just I'm kind of like putting over here. But whatever. Okay, right now I'm kind of like feeling really good. Alright. So this is it. I should supposed to be end here. And thank you.